What's up, guys? It is Brandon from the Two-Piece Mandem, and welcome to another Premier League prediction week 2. And the Premier League was interesting, very interesting. Not for me, of course, because my team lost 4-0 against Manchester United. But for other big for the other big six, it was great. I mean, Arsenal won their game, Liverpool won their game. Liverpool won their game convincingly. Arsenal didn't really win their game convincingly. Man City battering West Ham, absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to go through the fixtures for week 2. So the first game, next week Saturday at 12:30, early kickoff. It is Arsenal versus Burnley at the Emirates. Now, what do I think about this game? So I'm going to base this off Arsenal's last performance against Newcastle. Essentially, in my opinion, it wasn't good enough. So pretty much they got lucky. Essentially, Newcastle made a mistake, and the right winger, I think it was Maitland-Niles or something like that, I don't know who he was, passed the ball to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang got one chance and puts it in the net, and that's exactly what he does, and that's why Arsenal paid 75 or 72 or 75 million for him. Don't know the exact cost, but that's why they brought him in that role. Now, Nicolas Pepe didn't really do a lot, but what I really want to see is Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Nicolas Pepe. I know my friend told me that Lacazette had an injury and that's why he wasn't able to play. They brought some new players. Salabas, they didn't even play David Luiz, which I thought was ridiculous, but it is what it is. He's just on the bench, so you know that he's just not going to play that much. He's just going to be that bench warmer for a bit. So yeah, my prediction for this one. Actually, let's look at Burnley. Burnley won their game 3-0 against Southampton. So we can't just say Arsenal will absolutely slaughter Burnley. So for this one, do you know what I'm going to say? For this one, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I honestly think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Arsenal will struggle against Burnley. They will score a goal. I think they'll score by a penalty, and Aubameyang will score it. But I think because Burnley are so good, and they're so good at set pieces, and they're good at, like, when it comes to like practicing them. I feel as though they'll just score from a set piece because Arsenal can't defend set pieces for shit. So I'm thinking Burnley will score from a set piece, and it'll be from Ashley Barnes or something like that. So my prediction for this game will be Arsenal 1, Burnley 1. And I know it's a big call to make, but because Arsenal, like last season, they're so dominant at the Emirates, but I just feel as though it's going to be one of them games where Arsenal will draw. So yeah, I'm going to say Arsenal 1, Burnley 1. Moving on to the next fixture, Southampton versus Liverpool. So Liverpool are going to face Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium. Now, my thoughts on this. Well, as you all know, let's look at Southampton. They lost 3-0 against Burnley. It was an absolutely woeful performance. So essentially, they just won't do bollocks at all. Burnley absolutely took them to school, and Southampton's defence are a pile of shite. On the other hand, when you look at Liverpool, they absolutely smothered and dominated Norwich 4-1, scoring, I think, 4 goals in the first half. So I think this is only going to go one way, let's just be real. So for this game, I'm going to say Liverpool 3, Southampton 0. I just don't see Southampton coping against the front three of Mane, Firmino and Salah. But yet again, they played Origi instead of Mane, so I think Jurgen Klopp will do that again. I like the way Origi played and the way Salah played, like drifting into the channels, cutting inside. I liked the 1-2 combination as well. I like the football that Liverpool really played, and you can tell that they're up for it this season, so they ain't messing about. So, like I said, Southampton 0, Liverpool 3. Next game at 3 o'clock, Brighton versus West Ham. Brighton versus West Ham. So we know that Brighton demolished Watford 3-0 away from home. I forgot what the Watford stadium's called, but it looks like Brighton are on it this time. I think with the new manager, I don't know his name, but it looks like he's doing bits and he looks quite serious. So essentially, you know that he's on it. And then when you look at West Ham, well, they got slapped up 5-0 against Manchester City, but we have to admit that it is Manchester City. So I can't say that Brighton will absolutely batter West Ham. But with the confidence levels, it's more likely to be in Brighton's favour. So I think Brighton will win the game 2-1. I reckon West Ham will score a goal, and Brighton will concede, but I feel as though Brighton will just be a little bit more overpowered. Yet West Ham do have some good quality players. They do have Anderson, they do have Jack Wilshere, they do have that, what's his name, I think Fuller or something like that, that guy. Their new centre forward, I think he's from Frankfurt or something like that. But I feel as though Brighton will just take the W for this one. So I'm going to say Brighton 2, West Ham 1. Now, next game, Watford versus Everton. Now, so looking at the Crystal Palace versus Everton game, it looked like the driest game of all flipping time. Like, no one actually scored. Like, even when Zaha was on the pitch, I thought he was going to do something. Yet nothing really happened. So it was basically a driest game. They played away against Crystal Palace. Only got a point from that. What am I? For Watford, well, they were bollocks at their home ground. So God knows what's going to happen there. So for me, I'm only going to predict this in one way and one way only. I'm going to say Everton 1. Watford 1. It's just because Watford performed so poorly against Brighton at their home ground, and the fact that Everton didn't score a damn goal. But when you're versing Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park, it is a very, very difficult match. I'm not gonna lie. Those type of games, even the top teams, sometimes they just grind them out. They grind out those 1-0 games at those type of away games because it's very, very difficult to compete against. So for this one, I'm gonna say Everton 1, Watford 0. Norwich versus Newcastle. Now, for me, Norwich did score a goal against Liverpool. They were threatening, but they just didn't have enough quality to really punish Liverpool as such, and that's what Norwich lack. They lack the quality. They lack the Premier League experience, and they lack the quality, and that was the only issue for Norwich. And they were very vulnerable at the back, but they are a newly promoted team. So when you look at Newcastle now, they're not a newly promoted team. Their players are literally Almiron and the new £40 million striker, I forgot his name. And John Joe Shelby played quite well. Newcastle actually played quite well against Arsenal, if I'm honest with you. To be fair, I don't think they should have lost. They actually should have lost that game. Their defence was alright, to be honest with you. They only lost by 1 goal. It could have been like 4-0 or something like that. We were, let's be honest, I was expecting Arsenal to just beat Newcastle with ease. But, you know, like Haroon said in his review, you got to grind out those 1-0 games. But for this Newcastle one, but for Norwich versus Newcastle, I'm actually going to go Norwich 3, Newcastle 2. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I feel as though Pukki will score a hat-trick against Newcastle because I think that he's just going to be on that. He's going to be on the goal scoring chart for Newcastle. I think it'll be the new £40 million man they'll score, and I think Almiron will score as well. So Norwich 3, Newcastle 2. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth for the next game. Well, the Villa boys were playing pretty decent for 60 minutes against Tottenham Hotspur when Villa took the lead with a John McGinn goal, and but in the second half they were just pegged back. Like, they couldn't get out of their own half. Like, it was just ridiculous. Grealish cost him, by the way. Grealish cost him. All he had to do was boot that ball up the damn field to get his team forward up the pitch. But no, my man dilly-dallies, trying to dribble past people as if he's freaking Ronaldinho or George Best. Gets tackled, right, and then takes 2 deflections after 2 Villa players, and then Harry Kane slots it into the back of the net. Now, Villa's defending was absolutely poor for that game, right? If it wasn't for Tyrone Mings, they would have lost at least 6-1. That's a freaking fact, alright? So for that game, for this game, and also Bournemouth, well, they drew 1-1 against Sheffield United, but I think Villa will take the dub for this one. Because Bournemouth, they should have done more, and they should have created more chances, but they just really didn't. They couldn't really get into the back of the net, couldn't really get into the game that much. So I'm going to say Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0. Now, for the big game, at 5:30, it's going to be Manchester City versus Tottenham. Now, I'm going to go into more detail with this one because Manchester City are a different breed of human. They are not human, right? They are highly intelligent robots. Like, they're just absolutely superhuman the way they just play. And demolishing West Ham 5-0 at their own ground It's just typical Pep Guardiola's typical Man City football. VAR came into it twice, but it didn't stop them. It could have been 7-0, to be honest with you. So Man City absolutely ruled West Ham for jokes, and their team is just too OP. Let's just be honest with you. Like, with the players that they have, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling getting his hat-trick. He's already the top goal scorer and it's just one game, getting his hat-trick already in the first Premier League season. Like, are you kidding me? First game? Come on. And then there's Tottenham, the deadest team of all time, who, to be fair, I'll give them some credit with their new signing, and Dembele, I forgot his name, but with their new signing, he pretty much scored. And Spurs, they weren't really doing a lot in the first half when they were 1-0 down against Villa. I actually thought Villa would hold on and win that game. But when you're against Manchester City at the Etihad, you'll be lucky if you even get a draw. But Tottenham last year did take it to Man City last season, the Champions League finals. No, Champions League, what? I think quarterfinals, yeah. But like I said, Tottenham needs to perform for this one. If anything, they'll be lucky if they get a point. But for this one, I'm going to say Manchester City. I'll be nice. I'm going to say Manchester City 4, Tottenham 3. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining game. I think it's going to be goals galore. I think Tottenham will score first, then Man City will score 2 goals. I also think Sterling will score at least 2 goals in that game. Kevin De Bruyne will score, and Gabriel Jesus will score as well. And for Tottenham, I think it's going to be 2 goals from Harry Kane and a goal from Christian Eriksen. I reckon it'll be either a long shot or a free kick. Right, so for this one, I'm going to say Manchester City 4, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Now, looking at this game, Sheffield United, the newly promoted team to the Premier League, did bits. Man like Bailey Sharp, you know, scoring that goal to get a point off Bournemouth away. Fair play to them. I think they played the way they wanted to play. They played with no fear. They played with ambition. They played with heart. They played with courage. They played with determination. Their left backs running forward. You got their full backs running forward. Everyone's pressing high up the pitch. Like, they play with no fear, and that's the type of football you want to see from a newly promoted team, playing with no fear. Because most newly promoted teams would sit back behind the ball like piles of dog shit. All right. So we didn't see that from Sheffield United. Crystal Palace, they didn't do enough against Everton at their home ground. They should have done more at Selhurst Park. Zaha, he was benched for obvious reasons. Rumours saying that he wants to leave, and I still feel as though he's going to leave. Hence the reason why Hudson benched his arse. So for this one, I'm going to say Sheffield United 2, Crystal Palace 1. I think Sheffield United will go at Crystal Palace and just score 2 goals against them. I reckon Crystal Palace will score 1 goal, but Sheffield United will just go at it, and I think they'll get the reward that they deserve. So for this one, I'm going to say Sheffield United 2, Crystal Palace 1. And that's on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. Now, next game at Sunday at 4:30 is Chelsea versus Leicester City at Stamford Bridge. How am I feeling about this one? Well, let me tell you, freaking heck, well, this depends, because let's be real, right? We lost 4-0 against Manchester United. We have to play Liverpool on Wednesday. We're more likely to lose against Liverpool based on the Manchester United performance. And Liverpool are more likely to beat us based on the Norwich City performance. Now, what are my thoughts on this? I still believe we can win. Let me tell you why. Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, both inexperienced players. Kurt Zouma, fair enough, experienced players, but he had a knee injury. Yet again, you don't defend like a pile of dog shit. When we conceded that first goal, alright, it was absolutely ridiculous. When it came to transitions and going from attack to defense, they can easily break. We easily got torn apart down the middle and on the right hand side. On our left hand side, we completely got torn apart. And this is where I wouldn't have got rid of David Luiz. I would slate Frank Lampard and all that stuff, but let's be honest, you can't really slate him. Number 1, it's his first game. Number 2, we have a transfer ban. Number 3, what the frick do you expect when you've had a bunch of players relying on one key man last season, that was Hazard, who has now left us? What do you honestly expect? Number 4, you should have started Christian Pulisic on the wing. You should have started Ross Barkley in attacking midfield. Pedro on the right wing, he did that. Tammy Abraham, he just wasn't good enough. He had his chance, he hit the post. Emerson hit the post, and he should not start Jorginho. he should start Kovacic and an N'Golo Kante, because none of them can defend for crap in the midfield. You have to keep the midfield solid, right? How are you going to put an N'Golo Kante on the bench? Fair enough, he has a knee injury, but in those type of games, when you're against Manchester United at Old Trafford, this is what I'm going to say for Frank Lampard on this one. When you're at Manchester United, when you're at Old Trafford and you're against Manchester United, and you've got players like Pogba running at you, you've got players like Martial and Rashford running down the middle, you need someone to break up the play. That's N'Golo Kante. That's not Jorginho's strength. Jorginho's strength is to pass it out wide and pass it over the top to our striker, that is Tammy Abraham. It's just not his strength. Defensive wise, he just lacks that. Leicester City drew 0-0 against Wolves, so if anything, they can still do us over with the likes of Jamie Vardy and the new signing Jose Perez. For this one, I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Leicester City 1. Listen, this is me being as brutally honest as I can possibly be. All right, if we were against Man City, I would say that we'd lose like 3-0. I'm going to be real. I'm not going to be one of those people that are going to be like, oh, you know what, we're going to beat Manchester City 6-0. We're going to beat Liverpool 3-0. No, because I'm just talking out my arse. Right, let's just be realistic here. We're not going to smash Leicester City, all right? If anything, I don't know how we're going to cope against Liverpool for starters. So depending on that game, if we beat Liverpool, then the confidence can just glide through like the Leicester City game. So for this one, at the moment, I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Leicester City 1. I expect a goal from Tammy Abraham and possibly what? I'm going to say Pulisic, and a goal from Jose Perez from Leicester City. Now, last game on a Monday, I think it's at 8. Wolves versus Manchester United. I think it's going to be a very, very tough game for Manchester United. This will show you how good Maguire is, even though he did have Tammy Abraham in his back pocket. Wan-Bissaka was amazing as well. But Man United were not that brilliant. Let me tell you why. Because of the amount of mistakes that Chelsea made in the midfield, and the amount of passing errors, we were not that amazing, and we lacked experience. It was literally boys against men. All right, but Maguire was world class. I'll give him that. All right, he was proving his value. But let's see if he can prove his value against big teams like Liverpool and Man City, when he's against the likes of Aguero, Firmino, Mohamed Salah, Mane, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne. Let's see his quality there. But he's against Wolves, who are a very, very tough team. So for this one, Wolves obviously drew against Leicester City, but they are a tough team. Let's just be real. And Man United versus Wolves at the Monolux is not an easy game. Let me tell you that, and I know that from experience because Chelsea lost their last season. For this one, I'm going to call it a draw. I'm going to say Wolves 2, Manchester United 2. There will be goals, but Wolves, the way they set up is so tight. Like, you have to go on the wings. Like, in the middle, they'll just defend so well in the midfield that it's ridiculous. Very, very good defensively. And that's basically it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my prediction. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Smash the subscribe button. Links will be in the description as well. Also, comment down below your thoughts on the game as well. I'll see you guys in a bit. And peace.